Hello, my name is Amber Tackett, and this is my video for Aspen University's Diversity and Culture Module 7. So we're just going to interview each other. I'll ask you all the questions first, and then you can ask me the questions again. So the first question is, discuss how it makes you feel when you are the only one or one of few people of your race, gender, religion, or with your disability in a group such as a classroom.
Well, I feel uncomfortable, mostly because I think the things I say and do may be misconstrued because of different cultural backgrounds. There are some things that don't translate well from culture to culture. For example, it's not uncommon for people in my culture to, with my cultural background, I guess, to have large families and multiple generations living at home in one house. So, I mean, if there's something that I were to say in a classroom setting or in a public setting, it just may not jive well. Um, Not everybody has parents, grandparents, great grandparents, or kids that live in the same house together.
I didn't. The next question: what legal or ethical dilemma has happened within the last 2 years with the population you identify the most with that has made you ashamed or made you advocate or feel compassion for another population of people or an individual who was different from you?
Um, We're used to being on the counterculture side of that, not the cultural side of that. But I guess the DACA ruling is one thing. It's a couple years ago, I guess, but I'm personally not a dreamer. Uh, Legal citizen, born here, whatever. But just the thought of deporting people who are trying to better themselves is just ridiculous. I mean, borders are just imaginary lines that we draw up on maps and claim ownership of things that makes ourselves feel better. No person or group of people that want to improve their lives should be turned away for any reason. I mean, I'm pretty sure the Statue of Liberty says, "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free." I mean, to me, that doesn't say anything about borders or kicking people out. I mean, isn't that the American dream opportunity around the corner? And why is that exclusive to just us?
Um, Another question is, what stereotypes do you think people have about you because of your race, gender, religion, or disability?
Traditionally speaking, the big ones with black people, and it's probably assumed, is that I like grape drink, that I eat watermelon, fried chicken, uh, whatever the associated stereotype is, really. That I'm uneducated or lazy, that I came from the hood or a ghetto or the projects, that I have or do sell drugs is probably another one. I mean, that's usually a stereotypical black person thing. Chitlins, pig's feet, hogs malls, all that fun, happy stuff.
Do you also like your size also? Do you think that matters at all?
Um, I mean, that probably just goes in with the laziness thing.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, because I mean, I'm not super tall, so I never heard that we should play basketball.
Oh, I
Uh,
guess that is kind of a thing for some people. Huh?
yeah, it's and I mean, my name's not Tyrone, or
You have a pretty uncommon name, though.
uh,
I mean,
yeah,
I've never met someone else with that name.
true.
So,
And I mean, my friends that you would think are black are actually two nerdy white dudes, Marcus's. So,
yeah, which I guess is more associated with black
uh,
names, I guess.
so hyphen in my name.
Hmm. Um, Last part for you, and then we'll switch over to me. What impact statement would you like to make on behalf of the group that you identify most with regarding current affairs or events?
Mm. So, people think when you say Black Lives Matter that you're implying that Black Lives matter more than other lives. It's not the case, like at all. Hasn't ever been the way. Um, and I personally, I sympathize and I agree with the people that say all lives matter because they do, but you can't. have all lives matter if Black lives don't. And I think that's the thing that most people miss. I mean, we're not trying to say Black lives matter more. We're just trying to say we're here. We're just as important. I mean, statistically speaking, we make up a smaller fraction of the population, yet we account for a higher percentage of police brutalities and deaths than white people, the main race of the country. We're given, harsher sentences for the same crimes, disproportionately locked up. I mean, white people smoke weed at the same pace and proportion, I guess, as black people, but black people are way more likely to be arrested for it.
And I did read something recently that actually white women are more likely to avoid C-sections or medical issues with their children than black women. Black women are more likely to have C-sections and more likely to have medical issues either with them or the baby. So,
I mean, that makes sense. I mean,
which is awful.
Statistically speaking, white women steal at a much higher rate than any other class, yet black people are the ones that are usually followed around the store. I mean, it's just a thing.
All right. Well, now we'll go back to, do you want to ask the question now?
So, how does it make you feel when you're the only one or one of few people of your race, gender, religion with your disability in a group like a classroom?
I would say, honestly, I feel a bit uncomfortable just because everyone kind of assumes I'm the stuck-up, racist kind of white girl. I usually want to try to present myself like very friendly and welcoming, but it's really intimidating when people automatically judge me. And I know I have the privilege that I don't get to feel that way often, and definitely not to the same extent as like, you would, or someone else of a different culture or anything. So I don't even know how other people would feel, but I do feel uncomfortable just being like essentially an outcast, I guess. Here's the next one.
What legal or ethical dilemma has happened within the last 2 years with the population you identify with the most that's made you ashamed or made you advocate or feel compassion for another population of people who's different from you?
I honestly am extremely ashamed of the white people that are so blatantly racist and just straight up hateful, especially all the videos that are going viral and stuff of all of that. I hate being thrown into that category at first sight. And again, I mean, I have that privilege of only, feeling that way on occasion, and definitely not to the same extent as like I said, you would. But all these stories on social media of like mostly white men and women doing just disgusting things to different people of different cultures, different races, whatever, and feeling no shame for it. Like, not, I mean, that's always been around, but just with it being shared more and more is awful, and it's just more in your face, and it just breaks my heart, because honestly, no one should feel hate for someone who you don't know, and especially not just because they have more melanin in your skin than someone else might. But it's unreal to me. I'll never understand it, but I
mean, I've been introduced to 2 within the last week alone, so
yeah, it's just, I'll never understand it.
So what stereotypes do you think people have about you because of your race or gender, religion, disability, however you identify?
As I mentioned, I've been thrown into an automatically racist category a lot. And I can admit that I have been pretty close-minded in the past, but from my husband and other people that I've come into contact with in my adult life, I've been able to get different perspectives and open my mind a lot more. Like the Black Lives Matter movement, I can definitely say, what was it, like 6 years ago, I was the All Lives Matter side, not fully understanding, but definitely changing my perspective has helped on that. I'm also assumed to be just like a ditzy white stuck-up girl, and some of that might be true, but it's not all true. I am educated, and I really want to advocate for others that may not have the same audience or like volume, I guess, that I would have, like I feel like more people would listen to me maybe on a racial topic than maybe if you were trying to do it.
Right.
So
Identification.
yeah. And last question.
So, what impact would you like to make on behalf of the group that you identify the most with regarding current affairs or events?
I just want to say not all white people are racist jerks, and some of us really do want to help change the system however we can. I'm hoping to see a bigger, brighter light at the end of this seemingly never-ending tunnel. That is the unfairness. And I hope, as cheesy as it sounds, that MLK's dream will officially become true sooner rather than later. While Black people may be free, they're not really free emotionally. And they still have some extreme unfair risks that they face every day. So like I said, I'd really want to be a voice any way I can. And if anyone has suggestions on how I can be more of a voice, I'm all ears. But that is it. So thanks for watching.
Bye.